The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. It's a Friday, so it's a TIP VIP Friday. Got my dude Augustine Pimentel hanging out with me right now, but you know the drill. It's a lazy river today. You bring up the topics, I will answer them. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, on my YouTube channel, TSBN, Under the Hood Podcast. We're live on X, and very sporadically, I got to start doing it more than just Fridays, Augustine, but we are live on Instagram right now as well. Again, TIP's VIP Friday, whatever your sports question is. Look, if you give me something like water polo, I'm not going to know the damn answer. Nobody cares about water polo, all right? But give me something real. Give me something that I can actually talk about, that Augustine and I can talk about, and we will go on from there. But, Augustine, you see the hat? You know where I'm going to start today. Give me your thoughts on what happened yesterday with the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 6.
Great game until the third quarter. Basically, it was a good game, back kind of like a little back and forth. That second quarter, it looked like the Spurs were about to take control, and they kind of did at the end. And that third quarter was just men against boys. But I got to say the following. Do you think Oklahoma City was kind of like, all right, you got me. Let's go back to my house and see what happens?
Definitely, and you can tell that by Oklahoma City pulling the starters with, I want to say it was 9.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, right? So you kind of knew Oklahoma City, you're playing with house money. You don't have anything to worry about. You have a Game 7 guaranteed at home. There is very few in sports home field advantages more than Game 7 at home. But I will say, Augustine, I did some research. Out of the last 25 years, so since the turn of the century, it's only a 55% win percentage for the home team in Game 7 in the NBA playoffs. So it's not as lock as a lot of people think it is.
It's not, but at this point in time, Tipton, that was a tongue twister. I'm sorry, everybody. at this point in time of the series, it's more about confidence than anything else. So if Caruso goes, I'm at home. If Caruso goes out for 45 again, that's going to be a major talking point. If there's a little bit of a home field advantage in reffing, nobody's going to say anything. The thing is, being at home for that 7th game does give you some not so visually popular things that you might have as an advantage. So
I agree with that, but I also would challenge it this way, right? Yes, you're at home, but it's going to be the standalone game. It's going to be arguably the highest rated game in the NBA playoffs, right? Like, unless there's a game 7 in the NBA finals, this will more than likely be the highest rated game. All eyes around the basketball loving world are going to be right there upon you and looking right at you. The referees cannot make this game about themselves. They cannot allow this game to have any type of controversial calls or anything of that nature. And we normally see in a game 7 scenario, just like we did yesterday in game 6, the whistle tends to get swallowed a little bit here. Maybe that's something that's going to happen in game 7. Obviously, I'm not putting any money on it because, again, the champ always gets the calls, but fuck, man, it's starting to get annoying. It's really starting to get annoying with this team. But again, like you got to take the good with the bad. I really do feel like the referees are going to swallow the whistle in game 7. They cannot make this about referees.
So that favors Oklahoma City because they have proven to be a lot more physical than the Spurs at some points because they got bodies to throw at Wemby.
So
Wemby.
I will say maybe, right? Like they do have a bunch of bodies that they can throw at Victor Wembanyama. As Angel Torres says, Oklahoma City is just unwatchable. It really is. That brand of basketball to me, you know me, Augustine. I will watch any type of – I watch the fucking G League, okay? That is some bad basketball. And yet it's easier to watch than what you get with Oklahoma City.
What's up, Tommy? Hey, do not
in the games where the Spurs have been able to be physical with SGA, with Oklahoma City, the Spurs have dominated those games. Look at 2 of the 3 wins that the Spurs have in this series are by more than 30 points, right? Like they are slapping around Oklahoma City whenever they're allowed to be physical with them.
The thing is, are they going to be allowed to be physical with Oklahoma City at Oklahoma City? That's the thing, which I don't think so. I think this is going to be, kind of we will be talking about the refs on Sunday.
I hope not, man, because again, like if it comes down to that, right, where we wind up having to talk about the referees, then they've not done their job correctly. And it takes away from how great of a run this could be for Oklahoma City. Them being able to go out and say, look, we beat the San Antonio Spurs, this amazing team. And if they go into, the NBA Finals and beat the Knicks, who have just dominated the Eastern Conference right now, if they can pull that off, then the referees helping them along the way or having the perception of the referees helping them along the way is going to be an issue that comes back and bites them in the ass. Like they just cannot – the referees cannot do this. It's not good for the NBA. And I don't know. Like I look at Oklahoma City and I see a team that has a ton of talent. But like Tommy says, let's go refs. They get bailed out a lot, man. And the shame of it is that they don't need to. They're a hell of a team without getting all the calls. Make it a level playing field. Let these heavyweights punch and duke this out, and let's get a real winner in this series because a lot of us are looking at this saying that this is the actual NBA Finals.
Yeah, and because the Knicks in the finals is like a glitch in the Matrix. For some reason, I feel it as a glitch in the Matrix. Jalen Brunson.
I would normally agree with you, but this is a really damn good Knicks team.
Or is it a really bad Eastern Conference? That's the question.
That's what I'm afraid of. I think it could be a conglomerate of both of them.
Jalen Brunson, his game is absolutely amazing. You know, his the way he switches speeds, the way he changes direction, the way he does things is just amazing.
Carl
But
Anthony Towns is super zesty, so it'd be nice to see a zesty guy win an NBA final. Like that would be fun. Not
I mean,
obviously not at the expense of the San Antonio Spurs, but and then like I want to see at the biggest stage in basketball, Carl Anthony Towns go up for like a layup, miss the layup, look over at the ref and be like, "Oh my god," because he does that all the damn time.
yeah,
And me making my voice that high pitch is not far off from what he actually sounds like.
and that was, my ears were like, "Who the hell is that?" I mean, did
Oh
that
my
really come out from?
All the foul.
Yeah, but I mean, Jalen Brunson is the kind of player that you want to do well because I think every fan out there can picture themselves being Jalen Brunson.
You know what, Augustine? I've been really good recently, right? Like Tommy's been coming after my San Antonio Spurs. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks and
Uh-oh.
how the hell do you fumble Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic on the same damn team? Like how do you allow that to just fall apart? And I get it, the unrestricted free agent bullshit and all that stuff. If the Knicks are going like, look, we're going to give this guy a boatload of money, you look back at the Knicks and say, we're going to give him more money because normally in that aspect, the team that you're already on, right? Like the team that you're already a part of has the ability to sign you to a bigger contract than what the New York Knicks were able to give Jalen Brunson. And then with Jalen Brunson being able to like basically be on a bargain, this is a bargain deal for the New York Knicks. Right? It was what, a 5-year, $100 million deal? That ain't shit, dude. For a superstar of this caliber, that is nothing. So if we're going to sit here and talk negatively about the San Antonio Spurs, Tommy, I'm going to turn it back now and look at this Dallas Mavericks team and just simply ask myself, what the fuck, man? Like, what happened? How do you allow this to be?
Hey, Cooper Flack to the Spurs sounds good.
I was say we know Cooper Flag is going to get traded. Oh, I didn't know Angel was also a Mavs fan saying, leave my Mavs alone. We've been through enough. Tommy saying, let's not talk about the Dallas Mavericks, please. Okay. I am not that guy. Augustine, I'm not that guy. Tommy, I'm not that guy. But I just like hearing Jalen Brunson and how great Jalen Brunson has become on the New York Knicks and knowing that it was there. How do you fumble that, man? Like how do you? It's wild to me.
And Jalen Brunson, I don't know if you guys remember that Jalen Brunson interview when they came back from 20 some down. He was being interviewed. And he said, "How'd you guys do it?" He's like, "I have no idea." That to me was the greatest interview I've ever seen because he really seemed perplexed. He really seemed like, "How did you do it?" I don't know.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta get shit done. I mean, it just happens.
And I love some of those answers that they gave. Well, it's part of the team effort and all that. He didn't say anything like that. He just said, I don't know. It's like, how did you trade Luka Doncic? I don't know. Just like that. Sorry, Tommy.
I genuinely, and again, like I genuinely do feel bad for like Mavs fans because I do respect that franchise. I think that they are respected. Whenever it was Mark Cuban, respected that franchise. Now it just seems like they're kind of just flailing around trying to figure out something.
Yeah, I mean, was it the franchise that was respected or was it Mark Cuban?
I think it was the franchise because like you look at that team, right? Like Dirk, Jason Kidd, that team that won the championship, just like how gritty they were and all that stuff. Like that was a really good team. And Mark Cuban, obviously the guy that built it, that put it all together, that did all that stuff. Like it was a team. And just that one championship kind of solidified Dirk as one of the greatest to ever do it. And him being on the Mavs for as long as he was on the Mavs, like you kind of knew anytime Dirk was there, they had a shot to do something great.
Yeah,
Just see how far they've fallen is sad, man.
yeah, and you talk about that run that the Mavs had. I mean, the teams that they beat for that run. I mean, that's going to be talked about forever because they had no business beating the teams that they beat.
Yeah,
They had no business whatsoever.
again, it was an up and coming Portland Trailblazers team with a healthy Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Is it Brandon Roy or is it Brandon Raw?
Well, I don't think he's Canadian.
That's what I thought, but I've heard some people Brandon Raw. I'm like,
Well, the other one was the hockey player for the Colorado Avalanche.
There we go. That might be my might be my miscue there.
Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge. That was and I want to say they even had Andre Miller at that time. Like, it was a really good Portland Trailblazers team that people thought was on the come up. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder with Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. And they beat the defending champion, back-to-back defending champion, LA Lakers, that had Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol on it, in order to get to the Miami Heat, which was the greatest team we saw put together, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and some guy named LeBron James, just to beat all four of those teams. That's got to be one of the most magical playoff runs in the history of basketball.
Yeah, there's no and ifs or buts about that one. But you question what is the future of the Mavs. Are they going to be now the forever losers once again? Because you don't have a guy like Mark Cuban in there making decisions. You don't have somebody.
You probably remember, and maybe Angel, I'm sure Tommy remembers this too. The Mavs of the 90s were a freaking laughingstock, man. They were bad, objectively bad.
That hat on the uniforms was bad too. I mean,
you didn't like the green hat, like the green jersey with the white letters in the hat. That is my favorite Dallas Mavericks jersey. Like, I don't know what it is, but I love that amazing jersey. It's one of my favorite. If they had a player worth me buying the jersey of, I would buy that jersey.
Anytime you have a cowboy hat on something, it equals sucks.
Wow, this guy. Angel Torres saying they were the doormat of the NBA and that he loves those jerseys. That is a good. I don't know how you don't like that jersey, Augustine. That's wild to me.
I mean, the only player worth buying a jersey of that, it was probably free throw king Adrian Dantley.
There we go. That little fadeaway, that little fader that Adrian Dantley would do on the baseline, people forget. That's one of the best pure scores that has ever been in the NBA, and people forget how damn good he was, man. This is how you know I'm a basketball nerd. You can bring up names, Augustine, and I feel like I've heard 99% of them. But you've seen all of the history of the NBA dating all the way back to 1945 whenever you were a young 50-year-old man.
Yeah, I remember those times. I remember when God said, "Hey, let there be light," and I thought, "Hey, turn off the light, dude. I'm asleep. What's wrong with you?"
The commish tuning in, the cricket commish tuning in, saying, "Good morning, Money Mike, TC, and Augustine. If Karl Anthony Towns is looking for the refs or looking at the refs for a foul call, then he must think he plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder." Again, that's so sad. So sad to me that they feel like they have to like they're being bailed out by the refs. I'm like, I know they are, but they're a really damn good team too, man. That's the sad part about it.
Yeah, but I feel that every championship team gets bailed out more often than not. To be the man,
woo,
you gotta beat the man.
Yep.
So there we go. I mean, if I think, and this is me thinking, which is a dangerous thing all in itself.
I already see the smoke coming out of your ears.
Yeah, that thing is spinning faster. I think the Spurs are going to win Game 7. I want the Spurs to win Game 7 because they have an incredible team that only depends on themselves and not the refs for actual wins. So here's my take. Spurs win Game 7 in Oklahoma City, at Oklahoma City, by 6. Wemby has an okay game. It's Castle, which needs not to turn the ball over, to have one monster dunk, and to have a 20 and 15 game. If that happens, Spurs win.
So I looked it up right now just so that way I can get my math straight. I want to give you all, you know me, I like to vet myself, make sure that I got my stuff right. There have been 159 all-time Game 7s in NBA league history, dating all the way back to God knows when, right? The home team wins 74% of the time. But remember that caveat I gave you over the last 25 years, Augustine. In the last 25 years, conference final home teams, get this, are 12 and 10. So there is the possibility that the Spurs can get, like, it's not as cut and dry as we think it is. It's Game 7, anything can happen. I would love to see the Spurs win. You know that more than anybody. I am just the type of person that goes off of history. And I've got a ton of NBA history telling me the Spurs lose this game. I am going to, for the first time in my life, tell history to go fly a kite and say, go Spurs, go. I am picking the San Antonio Spurs to win this game on Saturday. I've got the El Paso Locomotive in town. I've got a job I'm going to do. And I am going to make sure that on all of the suites throughout the stadium, on TVs that don't need the soccer game, that San Antonio Spurs game is there. So as I'm walking around doing my job, I never lose eye contact with the game that's going on at that point in time, man. It's going to be such a fun time.
Can you call in sick?
No, I probably could. I don't like I have to be there if something goes wrong. I would feel so bad trying to have other people do what I have to do.
You know, I feel horns coming out of here telling you, could call sick.
No, I can't do that. You already know I'm not going to be able to do that. It'd be so easy to do it, but I just can't. I'm not that type of person. I wish I was. I am not that type of person. Although,
yes,
NBA
you are.
Finals Game 1 in San Antonio on June 3rd. It's a Wednesday night game for the El Paso Chihuahuas. Maybe that's a game that I miss.
Maybe.
It seems like it would be a good time. Again, like I've told everybody, I was in Alaska the last time the Spurs won the championship. I had to sit there and celebrate by myself. No San Antonio Spurs fans to be found at all. It was the most lonely feeling that I've ever had in a world that makes me feel alone 99% of the time. I want to be able to go to San Antonio. I don't care if they win. I don't care if they lose. I just want to experience an NBA Finals game, go to the Riverwalk, and have myself a good old time.
That sounded so lonely.
Dude, it was the worst. It was like I was at a bar in Alaska, and the only person watching basketball at all. Like it was just me.
What was the polar bear watching Eskimo surfing or something like that?
I guess they had to. They probably had it on ESPN 8 The Ocho or something, and were just dealing with that nonsense.
ESPN Eskimo.
Yeah, they were carving ice is what was happening on that one.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm picturing you in a bar like a log cabin.
Pretty much.
And it has to be like 5 feet above the ground so the snow doesn't, engulf it. I'm picturing polar bears like at a mile distance, swimming and getting their fish, and you all lonely watching the Spurs.
So basically what you're picturing is me like in like one of those ice fishing huts with a TV on is what you're basically picturing right now. It was not that lonely. It was very lonely, yes, but it was not that lonely.
Hey, just wondering, man, oh man, that's lonely, man. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, so I was in North Carolina the last time the Yankees won a World Series. which was awesome. A lot of Yankees fans in North Carolina was able to hang out at some bars, have me a good old time. But Alaska, man, Alaska for the Spurs to win. And you know, I love basketball more than I love any other sport. So that is my thing. Being in Alaska, the only person at a bar that had like 50 people in it, but I'm the only one that gives a shit about what's going on. I had to tell them, like the NBA finals are on right now. Would you be able to put that up? Like LeBron James and the Heat versus the Spurs? Like that would be awesome if you could do that for me. Oh, what channel is that on? I had to search what damn channel it was on for them. Oh, Tommy's saying that his baby girl is graduating tomorrow. Congratulations to her.
Dude, congrats. And tip, hey, Tommy, you need to send us a pic so we can put it up and everything. Because yesterday, and Tipton knows this, I had a proud dad moment. And we'll I don't want to bother anybody, but my son, top 5 in his class, he made the varsity team in his school, but you know how they go varsity JV, varsity JV because they're on both. He got the MVP for the JV team for the entire year, and he's part of the National Honor Society now. So good grades. Hell, an athlete. Takes after his dad, of course. Come on. I mean, who is his dad? I don't know. You got to introduce me to him. But he takes after him. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, it's super. Like, this is the place where like we should flex about our kids. And Tommy, that's awesome that your daughter is graduating. Congratulations to her. Hopefully, she goes to a college out of El Paso and no longer has to rely on you to take her to school, and she doesn't have to listen to my random rambling voice at 8:00 in the morning talking about inappropriate stuff 95% of the time if I don't have Augustine here to keep me back on track where I need to be. So congratulations to you. I hope that you go on and do amazing things. You are going to go on and do amazing things out there. And Tommy, you raised a hell of a little girl there. She's going to be turning into a woman and hopefully going out and doing some amazing stuff in other places where she doesn't have to listen to me.
Well, you're online, so maybe she's one of those.
See, there's a difference there. In the car, Tommy is forcing her to listen to this. If she goes out and seeks this online, then that's her problem. She did it to herself. But right now, I can be like, look, Tommy is the one corrupting her. After that, it's all up to her.
And so, Tommy, what does she want to study? Do you know? Does she know?
Tommy's saying, nice, Augustine, congrats to your son, and that she said thank you. Well, you were very welcome. And it's my turn to brag, all right? Both my kids on the AB honor roll at their schools as well, which was awesome to see. It's great to see that stuff. Both of them, great grades. It was an amazing year for them both, like seeing the growth and maturation process. 8th grade is always such a difficult age, and Jericho was able to handle it well. We all know it as boys. It's a difficult thing to get through, but we were able to get through it. He was able to get through all that stuff. Was an ace with his he's in guitar, so he was playing guitar. He did a bunch of guitar shows this year and stuff like that. Jinder won it was like a science recognition award that he got for 3rd grade. So that was awesome for him to see as well. Plus his teachers always have nothing but nice things to say about him. He's one of the nicest kids that's out there. So all our kids, I am proud of all of our kids, man. And it's great.
Isn't it funny that all our kids are doing well? That means, you know what that means? That means that it's only the tip that we're covering. I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just a Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip and Proud Dad Moments are brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Guys, if there's one thing that you can be proud of if you have amazing kids out there, it's that they came from your nuts. Make sure your nuts are well taken care of with www.myhappynuts.com. The Comfort Cream is my go-to. Use that promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. That was horrendous, and I apologize, but the joke was there, and sometimes you got to knock it out the park when you get that type of a softball thrown your way. I think I broke Augustine.
Oh, God. Sorry, everybody. That was just.
Tommy's saying, thank God they got out of the car on time. Oh, man. Tommy said that she's going to UTEP. She wants to be a pediatrician. That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Hey, UTEP has one of the best pre-med programs around.
Pre-med, nursing. People don't realize like how good UTEP engineering is, all that stuff, man. UTEP's got some really good stuff going their way.
Top 5 in business schools in top 5 business schools, top 10 nursing school, and top 5 engineering school.
Yeah.
That's how good UTEP is, and we take it for granted. Sports-wise, it's not good, but academically, yeah. You know.
Hey, you know what? Sports-wise, they're one of the top 136 schools in Division I.
I see what you did there.
Out of all of the 136 schools in Division I, UTEP is one of them.
I thought you were going to say UTEP is one of the top 136 schools in sports. Out of the 99 Division I schools, they're 136.
Okay. Well, I mean, kind of. Sometimes, maybe they are.
And I want to point out something. And you work for the Chihuahuas and for the Locomotive, and you're starting to appreciate soccer. But what a travesty happened this week when ex-Locomotive and player was not included for the World Cup squad, which is Diego Luna. That was a complete another trap. And people were happy with Mauricio Pochettino being appointed the head coach for the U.S. men's national team. Mauricio Pochettino, I said it a long time ago, overrated. The guy is blowing smoke up everybody's butt. But cool thing is, 2 people from El Paso are in the national team, which is Ricardo Pepi and Zendejas, which are 2 people from the borderland, are going to be playing World Cup soccer. That just sounds amazing.
You really get to see the type of athletes that come out of El Paso. I love that we have that spotlight on us now. We're seeing those athletes, right? Aaron Jones always comes to mind whenever we talk about that. Even before that, like Ray Mickens. Andrus standout, played, 14, 15 years in the NFL as a cornerback. Like, that was a great athlete. Don Maynard, I want to say, is one of the guys here as well. Won a Super Bowl with the Jets. Like,
just winning a Super Bowl with the Jets, wow. But yeah. but one that people forget, and may he rest in peace, Thomas Howard was a monster.
Oh yeah.
Thomas Howard, he was a mean, nicest person ever, and it's so bad that we lost him. But
such a young age too, man. That was damn.
And there are other people from that team you might remember. Safety Joe Flaskowski. Mm-hmm. He was amazing, dude. The way he read the field and everything. I mean, and another linebacker, Troy Calavo, which now is Dr. Calavo, by the way, just so everybody knows.
Wow.
I mean, there is a lot of future in UTEP. The thing is, do we have the executive management to carry it to the next level? That's the thing.
We know that answer. right? Like we know what that answer is. There has to be a monumental shift in thinking for the University of Texas at El Paso to reach the aspirations that we as a fan base, supporter base, kind of want them to reach to. I say this all the time, and I don't say it in a mean way. I don't say it in a, you know, arrogant way or anything of that nature. But the fact that I grew up in El Paso, spent the majority of my life in El Paso, graduated from UTEP, and still fly a Texas Tech flag behind me because I am a Texas Tech fan, goes to show you how UTEP. We were talking about teams that like fumbled players, right? We're talking about the Mavs. UTEP has fumbled all of the goodwill that they had with the city of El Paso. We don't expect UTEP to be a winner. We never have. We just expect UTEP to give us something to be happy about. Give us a little bit of hope, right? Like that's all we want, just a little bit of hope. But we enter every single season now expecting the worst from UTEP because they've done this to us for year after year after year, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, whether it's whatever it may be that we care about. The only good things we have right now are volleyball, the rifle team, the track team, and even the track team took a little bit of a step back.
Well,
But
with the Hall of Fame coach retiring and going away,
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of expect that, but you got to remember how many world champions from everywhere in the world come to UTEP because UTEP's name is in track is. I mean,
It's a quote.
you had people like Michael Hanani. I mean, be here. I mean, a French national champion, a France Olympian. You had all these guys from, and I know people are going to go, oh, well, from they're Ethiopia, they're this, but they wanted to come here, and people still want to come here for track. So there is a future at UTEP. The thing is, we need to put the right pieces in there and not be Nico. That's the most important thing.
Just not Nico it up.
Yeah, I mean, we set some names. I mean, recently, I mean, that were heck of players, but they needed more support. That's the thing. So, just like the Mavericks, they need more support.
Just like the Mavericks, they need more support. That is a great line.
Sorry,
That's so mean too.
it
But I mean,
needed to be. It needed to be said.
it's the truth, right? Like we are lucky to have, and not just UTEP related athletes either, right? Like Jennifer Hahn, Stephanie Hahn, like we've had a lot of guys, like you had mentioned about the soccer players being on the World Cup stage and stuff like that are here from the borderland. Like we've got some amazing athletes here, and it's cool to see that they're finally getting some love. What was it, Daryl Aranese, right? Playing in the World Baseball Classic for Puerto Rico, hitting a walk-off home run for Puerto Rico. That stuff is awesome, man. Like we had that talent cultivated here in El Paso, and it's great to see that we're finally getting. I don't know if it's the respect. I think we're working up to that respect, but we're getting the spotlight that the city has deserved for so long. Again, we're the 20th largest city in the country. It's about
Yeah,
getting start
and
acting.
it's all thanks to Mexican food. But anyway, but the thing is,
20th largest in population,
uh,
fattest by far.
hey, but the thing is, we're the best city to live in. You got to remember that.
Oh yeah,
But
safest city for population over 500,000. Like that's amazing, man.
hey, we're so far from Dallas. We're so far from Phoenix. You know, we're all in this island all by ourselves. That unfortunately, we're the best kept secret, and we don't have to be a secret anymore. We need to, and this is going to sound bad. We need to come out. We need to get out of the closet and say we're here.
Tommy, help us with that. We know you came out a few years ago, so help us with that. But like you're right, man. And I feel like the only way that that's really going to happen is if we wind up getting a major league team here, right? And I've said this 1,000 times. I wanted to get the Clippers here. I wanted to get the Chargers here. I wanted to get some sort of major league team like that here. I love the Chihuahuas. I love the Locomotive, obviously, right? But if we were to have that type of platform, hell, even if the Chargers played at UTEP at the Sun Bowl for 2 years while we built them a stadium, you know what we would get here in El Paso? NFL teams. You would get the Broncos here every single year. You would get the Raiders here every single year, the Chiefs here every single year. Every couple of years, you would get the Dallas Cowboys. You would get the 49ers. You would get those huge fan bases that have a huge fan base in El Paso to be able to come here while you build your roots in a city to get this city to love you. Look at the color scheme. The LA Chargers color scheme, I might have called them San Diego now that I'm thinking about it, but the LA Chargers color scheme matches that of the Locomotive. It's not too far off of what UTEP has as well. It would be great to get one of those teams here in El Paso. And I get that you said this, Tommy, for what El Paso belongs to the Cowboys, they'd be gone in a couple of years talking about if the Chargers came here. LA doesn't belong to the Rams. LA doesn't belong to the Chargers. LA belongs to the Dallas Cowboys and the Oakland Raiders. We can say that flat out. You can go to an LA Rams game when they're hosting the Cowboys, and that is a 75-25 Dallas Cowboys crowd there whenever we're looking at that damn stadium. Just get the team here, and now you can cultivate. Get the youth caring about you. The city of LA does not care about the damn Chargers. End of discussion. They do not care about that. You should have never left San Diego, but if I'm San Diego, I ain't bringing you back. I'm not going to have what happened with the Raiders happen to me if I'm San Diego. So why not come here where you do have a loose tie with San Diego with the Chihuahuas being the San Diego Padres AAA affiliate? Maybe you get some of those fans coming over here to help support whenever the Chargers move or if they ever move. But that has always been my mindset, that those teams that are homeless, that are sharing a stadium with somebody else, find a city. You mean to tell me that you don't think that we can get 60,000 people out to a game whenever it's the Cowboys and the Chargers?
Yeah, that stadium would be full. But you know what would happen with those teams that come here to El Paso? The same thing that happens every year with the Sun Bowl. They would be surprised at the hospitality, the friendliness of the people, how people carry themselves, how we don't hound them for autographs and we let them be. But that's the thing about El Paso. Like I said before, like I said 5 minutes ago, best kept secret, which shouldn't be. Best kept secret, which shouldn't be.
Our guy, Chris Babcock, saying we need a UFL or Major League Rugby team before we take the next step. In a couple of years, the Locomotive could be a Tier 1 team thanks to pro relegation in the USL as well. And like I really think that the Locomotive could be a Tier 1 team. The thing is that they need a stadium. Flat out. Like I love them playing at Southwest University Park. They need their own standalone stadium that fits soccer, not so much baseball. You lose so much by not having the areas covered that you would normally expect fans to be at. So, like, before they take that next step, they've got to be able to get that stadium.
Yeah. Plus, I think the Chihuahuas or the Locomotive have the financial backing. I think they're pretty good there.
Tommy saying, I'm at McDonald's and a lady is yelling at the employee, friendly my ass. Hey, man, look, every single one of us have gotten mad. You mess up my order, I might be mad. But I am also a very friendly guy, all right? I might not yell at anybody, but I am a friendly guy. Just don't mess up my order when it comes to my food. It's that simple.
Look at this, Tommy. Look at this, everybody. How friendly Tipton is. Duncan is overrated.
Put his ass on the bench. He ain't going to get away with that nonsense. Come on now. But I did it with a nice, calm demeanor. Tommy says, I'm about to yell too if they don't give me my damn coffee. Maybe that's what it is, Tommy. Like you're waiting for your coffee. That's what it is.
Man, I really hit a nerve there, didn't I? Man.
Hey, I kept my demeanor. I didn't yell. I didn't raise my voice. I know what you were doing. You just did it to try to get me mad. That's all that happened right there. And at
Mission
first,
accomplished.
I thought you were talking about Dunkin' Donuts, right? I was like, no, it's not. Dunkin' Donuts is amazing. And then I was like, wait, no, he's talking about Tim Duncan. This motherfucking SOB. That's what happened right there.
Tony
Speaking
Romo
of,
is
check out my friends over at Bean Keeney again.
Tony Romo is not the best quarterback in the history of the Cowboys.
I mean, an argument can be made there. Troy Aikman has won 3 Super Bowls. Roger Staubach won 2 Super Bowls. In order to be considered one of the greatest of all time, I understand the argument that you got to have rings. Tony Romo never got those rings. And if we're looking at it right now, statistically, Dak Prescott is about to take over every record that Tony Romo has. So there is an argument to be made that Dak Prescott could be the greatest quarterback in Dallas Cowboys history.
Dak Prescott is gay.
It takes one to know one. Chris Babcock says, buy the sack from SISD, then expand the sack to 15,500 as designed. That's still not big enough for an NFL stadium, though.
No,
Or-
I think Chris Babcock is talking about soccer.
Yeah.
It is 15,000 big enough, though.
Yes. I think that's plenty big. 15,000 would be plenty big. Tommy saying Duncan is overrated. We agree again, Augustine. Look at that. Look at that. You guys coming together on your mutual hatred of Tim Duncan, just the greatest power forward of all time. Like you could have said Ginobili, you could have said Tony Parker, but you said the guy that is objectively the greatest power forward of all time, that Shaq, Charles Barkley, everyone who ever had to deal with him is like, no, Tim Duncan is the greatest. Kobe Bryant saying Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time. LeBron James saying that he's the greatest power forward of all time. I'm sure I could find something from Jordan saying that Tim Duncan was the greatest power forward of all time. Those guys are co-signing him being the greatest. And y'all are like, that's the guy we're going to choose as overrated.
Well, have you seen him in dreadlocks? Come on.
Okay, yes, that is a weird look. My guy looks like he hasn't taken a shower in years. But I could only imagine the musk that emanates from him must be overpowering. David Robinson must not have a sense of smell because, yes, it does not look good. Tim Duncan in dreadlocks does not look good.
Yeah, and somebody needs to tell the boy, hey, excuse me, you might be the greatest power forward in history, but that does not look good.
Babcock saying Danny White equals Tony Romo. I 1,000% make those comparisons. But Danny White was people forget, dude. Danny White was a really damn good quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Tommy saying NFL stadiums need to hold at least 80,000, and then says, yeah, but we're not talking about how other people have co-signed Tim Duncan being the greatest power forward of all time, but not you guys. Not you guys at all. That's what swayed my argument. Damn it. All these NBA guys are like, Tim Duncan's the greatest, but you guys didn't. You know what? Maybe now there's a seed of doubt.
Well, I gotta ask you this question, Tipton. Was Tim Duncan a center or a forward or a power forward? I mean,
he was a power forward. He spent the majority of his career as a power forward. The last 4 years, maybe, he spent normally at the 5. But whenever you spend 16 out of 20 as a power forward, I'm going to say you're a power forward.
yeah. Those teams he had, though, I mean, one of the things about he was so underrated and he was so pivotal for every good season that they had was Manu Ginobili. You know, I mean, that guy he's comparable to some of the greatest guards ever in history because the skill set that he had and what he did with the ball was just amazing. And he made a lot of these championships because his movement off the ball was also amazing. Nobody talks about what the little things that Manu Ginobili did that were just amazing.
Tommy's saying Dirk is greater than Timmy. Timmy's got 4 more rings. I'm gonna go to the rings argument here.
you want rings, but
so going back to what you were talking about with Ginobili, a lot of people don't realize this. If Ginobili really wanted to make a stink about things, he could have started for any team, and would have been a 25-point plus guy a year. Like if he got the type of usage rate that a lot of these other guys got, I wouldn't be surprised if he could have led the league in scoring once or twice, maybe, right? Like he was such a dynamic player. And even there towards the end, like you said, the fluidity, the being able to move and move his body and contort himself in order to get shots and like understanding angles and everything like that. He never really relied on overpowering athleticism, which he did have. A lot of people forget that. Ginobili was a hell of an athlete. He thrived on the mental aspect of the game. Like, I know my spot that I need to get to. I need to get there before you do. Or if you get there before me, then I need to find a way to shake you off to get to my spot. And he was a pro at it. Plus, introducing the Euro step and having that awkward lefty, push shot jumper. That's what really helped him out.
And here's my question for you and for everybody out there. And I have my own say on this, but was Tony Parker overrated at the point guard, though?
As a point guard, a pure point guard, yes. As a field general type of point guard, the old school, let's take it back, like I'm going to distribute the ball, dribble, penetrate, pass, get the offense moving. He was the prototypical point guard like that. But we saw the change of that type of point guard in like the 90s, right? Like where you wanted your point guard to start scoring. I'd even say going back to the 80s with Isaiah Thomas, where you wanted your point guard to be a guy that can score. Tony Parker was more about facilitating the offense than he was about scoring. But whenever he did score, it was always the right shot. Like you never looked at the shot that Tony Parker took being like, oh, that was a terrible shot. And again, for a point guard, a lot of people forget this. The year that he won the finals MVP, I want to say was 07.
07, correct.
The year that he won that finals MVP, he shot 59% from the field. But he only went into the paint. So he was challenging the bigs, getting layups, doing all that type of stuff, and still shot 59% at 6'3", which, again, huge for a normal dude, tiny in the NBA.
And in an era where there was actual defense being played.
Yeah, we're if you were a little guy going into the paint, you got rocked.
Yeah, even players like Michael got rocked when they went into the paint. I mean, that's when Michael developed that little fadeaway that's so Michael Jordan.
I had seen a thing the other day, and it really did make the comparison for me of how good Ralph Sampson was until all the injuries took over. Where it's like he was a Wemby type player before Wemby. The only thing was that he didn't have the shots or the handles that Wemby has. But Ralph Sampson, if you look at Ralph Sampson's like college career versus his, NBA career, like the early part of his NBA career, Ralph Sampson was a problem, man. And it's really kind of shitty that the injuries took over a little bit after they got Hakeem, because Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon on the same team, the original Twin Towers, if Ralph Sampson had stayed healthy, that would have been a dynasty, man.
Yeah, oh yeah. I almost say the same thing about Pistol Pete Maravich all the time. Yeah. If he was so far ahead of his time that people didn't understand the way he played, and you'll see the highlights from his college days behind the back and dribbling all this. Now we see him as something normal, but back in his day, those weren't normal. I mean, Pistol Pete Maravich was so far ahead of his time. Just like a name I'm going to tell you right now that it was a travesty that it was so sad when he died, Drazen Petrovic.
Yeah.
Petrovic was a scoring machine. And if these players played today, I mean, their averages would be like 35 a game. Easy.
That's the thing, right? Like Pistol Pete in college averaged 44 points a game?
44.
Out of 3-point line. Like, think about that shit. Without a 3-point line, he was doing this stuff. And I get it. Like, I think we're talking old head basketball right now, which is great for us. But we got to give like these old heads their due, man. Like Bob Cousy, I know people make fun of watching, old school Boston Celtics stuff because Bob Cousy's dribbling with the fingertips and only doing that. Allow Bob Cousy to do this little motion just right there. Just that little bit right there, he would have been dominant in today's NBA as well. Just getting to the point where he needed to get to. but he had to do the old school fingertip because if you did this, it was palming the basketball. A lot of people need to remember that. It wasn't as egregious as doing this, which we see a lot of players get away with now, but it was if you brought it to the side and then put it on top, that was palming the basketball.
Yeah, they had to dribble way differently back then. So, and there are other players which we always forget. But here's again, I'm going to ask you this question right now, Tip.
Okay.
Will Victor Wembanyama surpass Tim Duncan as the best Spurs player of all time? I know I've asked you this before, and you were doubtful on this. But if Wembanyama can take this team to the finals and win, are you going to think better of our most beloved xenomorph in the league?
The BS podcast saying, great show, guys. Thank you all over there. As far as all the tools are there, right? All the tools are there. He has the tools not to just be better than Tim Duncan, but to be the best player we've ever seen. They are there.
Yes.
The thing is does he stay healthy? Is he able to get a 20-year career that Tim Duncan had? You know me. I'm not going to say it all comes down to rings. I think the rings argument is super overrated, especially in the NBA, because you have buzzsaw teams that prevent players from getting as much rings as they possibly can. Case in point, the night is in Jordan. You were not winning a ring if he didn't retire. End of discussion. Doesn't mean that those players that played back then aren't as great, right? They were great players.
Yes. A great example is Stockton and Malone.
Yeah. Patrick Ewing, right?
Ewing.
There's a ton of them, all-time greats who never won a ring because they ran into a buzzsaw. The fact Jerry West has one ring does not take away from the fact that he's one of the greatest of all time. If Wembanyama can stay healthy, then yes, statistically he can probably be much better than Duncan. The thing is, does he make the impact in the community of San Antonio that Tim Duncan did? Let's not forget, Tim Duncan could have left. 2003, Tim Duncan's contract was up. He had basically agreed to a contract with the Orlando Magic. It would have been Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, Tim Duncan on an Orlando Magic team. That's winning a championship. Doc Rivers fumbles it by saying, no, your family cannot travel on the team plane. Let his fucking family travel on the team plane. You can tell in 2003 he was already one of the greatest, right? That's what allowed him to stay in San Antonio. He said, I will never leave. If this is what the rest of the league is going to be like, I don't realize how spoiled I am in San Antonio. I'm going to stay in San Antonio. They treated me well, so now I'm going to reciprocate it, give it back to the community. Gives back to the community, and you can tell. Tony Parker never left. David Robinson never left. Manu Ginobili never left. A lot of players that played for the Spurs wind up moving to San Antonio because they just fall in love with the city itself and everything around it. I can tell the city already embraces him. He already embraces the city, talking about Wemby. Now it's all about, can he keep that mindset? Can he make sure that, again, he's not bigger than the game, he's just a part of the game? That type of stuff. Statistically, I think he can be the greatest player that ever played this game if he stays healthy.
And the thing is also putting in for my taste, they're missing a couple of pieces to be that team. They're missing, the enforcer to take care of him. They're missing the Draymond kind of thing to, punch everybody else out while you protect Wemby. And that's the big piece missing, because I think Castle can do the job. I think the rest of the supporting cast can do the job. I think the backup center, I always forget his name, Kermit the Frog, that guy.
I'm just hoping you're gonna get you're there. I want to see you get there, Luke Cornett.
Cornet's give and take with Wemby is nothing to nothing to be taken back. I think that guy needs to step up a little bit more, but his connection with Wemby is so big that they feed off each other, and Wemby recognizes his limitations. But I think that guy, which I'm not going to say the last name again, knows what his role is, and it's to be that keep Wemby happy. Yeah, and I think they got all the bases to be that team. Are they going to do it though? That's the thing.
Tommy says that Victor Wembanyama can wind up being Yao Ming 2.0. That's still a Hall of Fame career. I don't know what you're hating on there, my dude. Like, I don't think Yao lived up to the expectation that everyone had of him, but very few do, right? Like, I don't think LeBron has lived up to a lot of the expectation that people had of him as far as it comes to championship, right? Individual stats, LeBron, greatest to ever do it. But what leaves the legacy behind, once again, chasing that shadow of Michael Jordan, LeBron never reached it, right? So, like, I'm trying to figure it out right there. But here's the scary thing that I want to tell you about, Augustine, before we end the show. Right now, the San Antonio Spurs have $64 million that they can spend in salary cap.
Hey, can I have a couple?
Just throw me a couple bucks here. I'm good. I'll make sure Wemby's happy.
Yeah, not that way, but yeah, I'll make sure.
I don't know what way you're talking about, but it's weird that your mind went there, Augustine. Everybody, I want to thank you so much for tuning into today's show. Fire and Ice tomorrow, Buffalo Wild Wings. We will see you all later. Have a good time. Oh, also, Bob, Jim, and Pat Get Drunk on the Internet tonight, making our debut on the Under the Hood Podcast Network. We will see you all then.
And also, by the way, vote on El Paso for this show. Tipton show is on there as Best in the Border. So
I am?
Yes, you are, because I voted for you yesterday.
Holy shit, who nominated? Wow, wild. Whoever nominated me, you're an absolute diabolical human being. But yes, go out there and vote for me. I didn't know I was there. Now I got to start sharing stuff out. Augustine, thank you so much, my buddy. You know I got nothing but love for you. Everybody will see you then. Have a good time.
Duncan's overrated.